Okay, we're live.
Woo!
Hey,
Hello.
how is everybody? Welcome to Friday at the Shop. Yep, this is
Yes.
it. What a beautiful day today, huh?
Nice day to be in the woods.
Yeah, yeah, right. Sam, headlights killing me.
Sorry, I can't find a switch.
Yeah, working on it.
Sorry.
So there you have it.
What are we doing today, Tommy Gun?
Okay, that must be me. I know, it's me. Relax, hold on. I'm trying to fix things. Click to enlarge. Now I got it. There. All right. So, hey guys, thanks for joining us. I hope you guys are having as good a Friday as we are. Again, still kind of in the throes of the coronavirus and now the riot situation going on. Man, it's 2020 has been a little bit of a
Dumpster
bugger.
fire.
Rough.
I think not even sure we're over the murder hornets. So it's getting bad out there. But let's hope all the situations get taken care of in the proper way and get back to normal. So what do we got going on this week at the shop? Mikey, what do you got going on?
There's
bud?
Amy.
Hey, Amy.
We've just been finishing mostly this week, so it's been a lot of cleaning of knives and kydex for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely been a good finish week, man. Got a lot of stuff heading out to dealers. So you guys, if you're looking for some really cool things, we got stuff heading to just about all the dealers this week. It's looking real good. We were able to get some finishes done. Thank goodness. And with so Scott, with the new shop set up out there, the new arrangement, how you liking your new spot?
It's great. Love it. Nick installed a large fan right over my grinder, so that'll be good for the summer.
Right on.
And the way
already
that
here.
mainly though, you can see right over Nick's shoulder. There's the buffer, and then the other machine where we use to run the spine. It's very efficient. It's way faster now.
Okay, so that's working out good for you.
And
Awesome.
yeah, and it's very good for tag teaming. A couple guys right there.
Unless it's raining and then Sammy doesn't want to be near the door.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
it was
lightning
scary,
scares
it
him.
was storming.
I just learned
dark out
that he
there.
gets scared with the lightning. I didn't know that.
I didn't know either.
Good tip. Good to know.
Yesterday. So yesterday here it was storming pretty good, and
Yep.
I heard Sam at one point go, "I'm in danger."
Yeah.
You know,
kept
you could
getting
get
more and more
electrocuted if you hear that.
It was really storming there for a few minutes.
Right on. So if somebody, if you haven't heard, we switched up the shop a little bit. So we have some new, the way we're doing things down the back wall. Nick, can you swing towards the back? So way down there at the other end is where we actually start the actual glue of the knife. So it gets glued there, and then it kind of comes right up the line on all those different grinders as you see in buffers and stuff as they get clear up to the end. Then they get turned around and put on the table where Nick is actually sitting, and that's where the knives sit. And you can see that it's empty. That means we did everything. Yay.
Ta-da!
We just finished right in time for the show. So we got that all set up, and we are good to go on that. We started our week this week by, was it build week or were we still in grinding?
We had one day of building this week.
One day of build. Oh, that's right. We started on Monday on finishing up the build week. So we were over in Mikey's section, and all of us were doing some building. Scott glued probably besides his hands together, he glued a few knives, well, maybe 200.
I don't know. It seemed like 800, but I'm sure I'm wrong.
So we got them all glued up, and then we spent, boy, it took dang near all day to get them all squared, didn't it?
Yeah.
Get them all squared down.
It was a bunch.
Started working through the, polish and the mat and everything. But at the end of the week, we got a bunch of them through the door. The girls are busy right now, putting them in boxes and getting them out the door to the dealers. So, yeah, we had a great week here. So, liking all that. And we got, man, this has been the warmest week so far, right?
It's been
I think
toasty,
so.
that's for sure.
The other day was 84, something like that.
Even with the thunderstorms. It's still been pretty warm. So
Sorry.
yeah. Hey, I see some people signing in over on Facebook. I see Brother Stan Maxwell. Good to see you. He's another fellow knife maker. Stan's a real good friend of the company. He's been out to see us a few times, did some classes with us. Great guy, makes some cool knives, so check him out. And one of my dad and my old friends, Matt Powell. Matt, good to see you on here, man. Thanks for tuning in. I know Scott knows Jeff Powell, his brother. So we've seen shows. But Matt's on there. Yeah. So that's very cool. Doug, I see you're on there today too, man. Thanks for chiming in today. Oh, my mother's on. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
So Mom's on. All right, so we got some guys tuning in that we know. Brian Mariner. Hey, Brother Flatlander is on there. Good to see you. I hope things in PA are all green light now, right? I don't.
Just like your background.
About the same here.
They're just as green as the grass right there.
Oh,
oh look at that.
Mailman's here.
Mailman, yay. We got stuff. Is that your part?
Great. I like this spot. I can keep an eye on everything here.
All right. So as you guys know, in the past, we've done some grinding. We've done some finishing. We've done some sharpening to show you. Today, we're going to pop out and do a build. Mikey got some things out there, and we're going to put a knife together for you. Probably forgot to
build a knife.
No, it's ready.
You ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna take that out in a little bit. So as always, if you guys have any questions that you'd like us to answer, we are glad to do that. Looking for a great Friday. So who's got big weekend plans? I do.
I think we all have something.
Yeah, we've got cool stuff going on. Who's going first? I'll go first. My hand was up. So Sam and my brother-in-law and Sam's brother-in-law and some kids, we're going to go down the farm. Mom, Dad, you probably aren't aware of this because I didn't tell you yet because Sam just told me. We're going to go hang some gutters on the cabin. So kind of excited about doing that. Yay. Yay. What do you got, Mikey?
We're going camping, Laura and I.
Oh, right on. Enjoy that, man. Love woods time. Scott?
Let's see, probably some more work on the new Tacoma, and we're finally going to go get to see Mom at the rehab.
Oh, right on. Gotta love
Can't
that.
go in the building, but they're going to wheel her outside and probably in the parking lot with an umbrella.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do it, but we'll get to see her.
Yes, so that's good. So it's opening up a little bit, and
Yeah.
please tell Mom I send my love and tell her hello for me.
Will do, bro. Thank you.
Nick, what do you got going on?
I'm hoping to get some hiking in this weekend, and since I know that there's no way he's watching this, I'll go ahead and tell you. My dad's birthday is on Tuesday next week, but we're celebrating on Sunday, so
Awesome.
I'm gonna have some
Happy birthday to George.
steaks with Dad.
So
Wait,
are you
your dad
saying
doesn't
he-
involve himself in technology? Who'd have thunk?
I was going to say, does that
My
not-
dad has a flip phone, so just so everyone's on the same page about this.
He has a jitterbug.
I was going to say, so the
Not a
jitterbug.
jitterbug, but it's about that close,
Close enough.
right?
Oh, I see. Hey, Brian, please tell the Mrs. Flatlander I said hello.
Yes, we all say hi back.
Yeah. Miss you guys. Hopefully we can get this crazy taken away and we can do some stuff again soon. You know, getting together and all that kind of thing. But anyway, so who's got a story? Yep, go ahead. Scott's got something.
There's our Glock contact. He's in the house.
Oh, right on. I don't. Where am I seeing it? I don't.
I don't
Okay.
know. I have it on the big screen instead of the
Yeah.
little screen.
I sadly don't have all of them in there yet. But well, hey, Mark. Good to see you.
Mark Garcia, Jeff Gamble. What's up, fellas?
Right on.
Speaking of visitors at the shop, have we? I forget what we decided. Are we encouraging people to stop by the shop yet, or are we still not? Because someone
Still-
asked me and I didn't know. I couldn't.
I say for now we're on the still not because just the way things are going on in the world, as you can see, we're all still enshrined in separate rooms. We try to do the social distancing the best we can. I was able to go back to church over the weekend, so I was very excited about that. So yeah, I think it's getting back to normal. Let's hope everything can get normal very, very soon. For those of you that are not aware, we still are planning on doing our Kydex class, which is July 11th. That is a Saturday. Sammy, what were we talking about for? What we were going to do two things, right? What are they?
Yeah, I think we decided to knife with a 4-inch
You, man.
blade and a multi-tool.
And a multi-tool. Okay, so for those of you who are interested, that is kind of what we're wanting to do is we'll have it set up. We're going to get more details out here real soon. But you're going to be able to bring your multi-tool in and a knife of, what was it, 4-inch blade?
I think
max?
that's what we decided, 4-inch blade.
4-inch blade max. And then we're going to work on Kydex for all day Saturday. And we have to limit the class to 10. We don't have a choice in doing that, but we're going to limit it to 10. So if you are interested, email the shop, call Elaine here at the shop, something, get on the list. It's going to be fun. We always have a good time when we teach classes. We have a great time. We usually get something to eat. Scott tells a joke or two. Sam will back him up with, dadjokes.com or whatever it is.
Boardpanda.
Boardpanda.com.
Boardpanda.
But we always have a good time. And,
All right.
and we'll make some cool stuff. Do you have your Kydex rig on you, bud?
Yeah, the multi-tool.
Yeah. So if you're interested in doing like a multi-tool, this is a very, very cool carry rig that we make. And
Can you
so
see
you
that?
bring your multi-tool.
Yeah.
If you bring your multi-tool across, and we can, we'll help you build that. Do you have any knife sheaths laying right there? Handy?
I
Nick,
don't have anything together in here now.
Nick, you wearing one?
I am not today, actually. I have something injection molded.
I have an old one in here.
Oh, wait, I lied. Found one.
Okay. Well, if you got one, I won't look. I know I
Mike,
have.
is there an Amtrak station in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, there's one in 30 miles from here.
Okay.
It's a little
yeah.
dirty.
It's a little dirty, but okay. So anyway,
Oh, there you go. Yep.
if you're interested in doing a knife sheath, something similar to that, slide lock or not, depending on the side. We have leather backers, we have tech locks. I think that's about it. Or we can just go ahead and make a clip, like we do for the machetes that it can swing on the Kydex. So that class is July 11th. So if you're interested in doing a Kydex class with us in July, man, by all means, please, please, please sign up and we will have a good time. Hey, I see Dean Shirley is on here. Brother Dean, good to see you. If you guys aren't familiar with Dean, Dean is an overlander, East Coast Overland Adventures. He also works at Blue Ridge Overland Gear, who is friends of ours, and we love that company's gear and all the guys down there. We send our best down to you guys, Dean. Glad you tuned in today. Thanks for being here, brother. And while we have Dean here, Sam, I think we should throw down the gauntlet with him. What do you think?
Throw down the gauntlet.
Well, that's what I call it.
Bam!
Are you going to
I'll let
have a
you
popcorn
try.
off?
I'm thinking, Dean, now we'll have to talk a little bit farther on this when we can get together again. My personal opinion, just for the fun of it, I think you and Dean should have a scottle off.
A scuttle off.
Oh, I want to be a judge.
I think, yeah, I know. I want to be one of the judges we're eating. I think. What do you think? You think we can
What do
get?
you think,
we
Dean?
can
Sounds
poke
like it could be
Dean?
fun.
Do you think we can poke Dean into doing a scottle off?
I bet we can.
Sounds like he wants to come to the Kydex class. Maybe you could do it there.
Well, yeah, he better come. Uh-oh.
There you go.
See it, Scottle popcorn contest question mark?
Ooh.
Yes.
sounds
Well,
tasty.
didn't you say that you were going to pick the food that we had to make?
I don't know. We'll have to talk over the details with him because I think it will be fun. I think it would be fun. And
I think the gauntlet was just thrown back down.
Yeah, he
Okay.
just accepted
I'll
it.
bring my.
You're on now, boy.
Kydex class will bring my A game.
We're on.
All right.
Hey, so you guys come and take the Kydex class, and apparently we're going
You
to
get to
eat
eat.
pretty good. Because if you haven't experienced, Dean's a fine cook. And Sam is no slouch, don't get me wrong. Sammy is a great cook on the scuttle. He has a good time doing it. I think we'll have
Sammy, you were just voluntold.
I know.
Sam doesn't
Now
get that
you're
figure by
representing-
eating vegetables.
You're representing the honor of the shop. You have to win for us now.
Am I allowed to dual scottle, or I have to do it all in one?
Whoa!
I don't
Like
think
a dual
it's
turntable
dual.
there.
I'd love to see you do a dual popcorn thing, because then we'll do the backbeat or whatever. Scott can do
Salty
that.
or sweet and savory.
And of
Oh
course,
yeah,
at the end, we'll have to do popcorn.
it's a
just
musical.
because.
Oh yeah. That sounds good. We're gonna have to, Dean. We will get a hold of you and we'll get this locked,
Boy.
put in stone, and maybe we'll do some Facebook stuff and do some video and just have a good time doing it. Make sure you have
You like a big fight.
Yes. Scott will throw down an act.
Brock against
I like
LTWK, huh?
Oh,
That means there has to be prizes to give away.
I see an annual competition with a trophy. I'm just saying.
I can whip up some medals on a shop box
We may,
made out of my
Oh.
Carta. With my Carta medals. You can
Dean,
wear
we may
around.
Dean, we may have to talk to Matt about this and make it a fun shop thing. That might be fun. And we'll give something away to the public at the end. Now, if you guys would like something free, by all means, put "I'm in the comments on Facebook. and we'll,
We'll
Let's
just
try and get Scott
I know I
involved.
let me type in for myself. I'm in.
God. Yep.
Okay, I'm in! Exclamation point. Yay! There you go.
Squirrel trophy.
There. Oh, that's not bad. I
Yeah.
like the way that goes. Good thinking, Dean. All right, so that we'll get back to that. I don't hate that idea all the way. So, if you guys haven't seen, Blue Ridge Overland Gear has just moved this week. Congratulations, guys, on getting all that set up. And I think I saw a post where they're slowly getting back. They're a little bit behind on
Accepting
orders right
orders now.
Yeah, but they're getting back on their way. So yay that. Good
Yep.
for you guys. And how are we doing here at the shop? We're still kind of short-staffed. We were able to bring Amy back. Elaine was begging us, or you could say she was hitting us with sticks. Get me some help. Give me some help. So we brought Amy, and I'm glad to have Amy back.
Or I'm tired of you guys coming in the office and trying to help.
Oh, that's right. I can't, my hand.
Which we did.
Like, stop doing that. Don't. It's not like that. It's not like that.
That's not how the stickers go in the box.
I liked working in the office. It was fun. I had a good time there.
It was
Something
fun
different.
for us. I don't know if it was fun for Lane.
That's a good point. That's a good point there.
So,
I was very confused. There wasn't one blast of my Carta dust in the face that whole day.
okay, I'm just going to tell an old story here because of.
Wait. You
Sorry.
got to make sure that Scott can hear it with his right ear, because remember, his left one doesn't work.
That's the story.
What?
Yeah, exactly. So when we used to have the shop at the house, and it was very close quarters, Scott and I would stand shoulder to shoulder, and we'd have just the
Dang near.
the tray between us. It was
Hi, buddy.
it was our hospital tray that we put our knives on. Well, I would do something to the knife, and then I would put the point down. I'd lay it on the table like this, pointing to him, and he knew that it was ready because we'd have our masks on. And he would do it, and he would do his grit, and he'd put it back, point to me, and we'd do this. Well, he got this complex and started whining about the motor from my machine would blow air on him and get my Carta dust in his left ear. So,
So
one day, I must have been at lunch, I don't know, but I come back down, and there's hooks in the ceiling and a plastic shower curtain hanging between the two grinders, and it's like,
And that is your ceiling, your basement ceiling.
workshop.
It's like, what are you doing? He says, I'm tired of having all my Carta dust blowed in my ear, and I'm like, this is the sound I'm hearing. Me, 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 me. And then I'm like,
Tiny
okay.
violin.
Well, let me tell you. So I turned my machine on, right?
Do tell.
And the wind from the motor blows the curtain over in front of his grinder, and he can't work. Take the curtain down.
It lasted 3 seconds.
If it makes you feel better, the hooks are still in the ceiling.
Oh, thanks. Bit of nostalgia.
He spent his whole lunch hour putting up a curtain that didn't even last long enough for me to throw the switch on my grinder. It was hilarious.
Just
For years, this half of my face This looked like a lanyard tube full of micarta dust and compound, and I didn't really have to shave this side just from the abrasiveness.
Yep.
Some of it was handy.
So that worked out really good back in the old days.
And when we rearranged part of the shop, oh, a little deja vu. Well, you had to do away with that. You want to take your machine and go by the bathroom, please? Thank you.
What?
'Cause it was happening. It was happening again.
Oh. Ah.
It's better now.
It's better now. He's up there by himself. Oh man, that was fun.
Fine.
The good old days. We did have some fun back then, though. I mean, those days were pretty cool. We used to sit around that table that Nick is sitting at. Can you show a picture of the top of that? Because it's pretty ragged by now. This was our kitchen table in our house.
I remember eating dinner at that table at your house.
There's some holes.
There's some holes and pieces missing. All the chairs
are pretty rickety, including the one I'm sitting on.
So back in the old days, that's where Scott and I would eat breakfast and do our planning for the day. And then when Mike came on, we'd actually sit around and plan our monthly specials right there at the table.
That was my desk for the first week till Elaine got mad and told me I had to move.
That's right. So that was our house kitchen table. And when we moved to the shop, that table was so grimy, just from us coming up and eating lunch and being there in the mornings, that she made us take the table to the shop. And we still have it today, and we still work from it and do things on it. So
we can never get rid of that.
Yeah. Oh, it's not going to be up to us. One day it's just going to say, I'm done. And
then we'll rebuild it.
Put
it in the museum or something.
I think we had about 1,000 knives on here a few times.
Oh, it's
and
been
that
heavy.
seems okay.
It holds.
But when we get up closer to 2,000, then that one time it was bowed pretty good there. I think he's just going to give out one day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey. Dramatic.
I see our buddy Alan from the UK. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. Across the pond.
Here's how it works. It's after 5 o'clock.
Oh, wait, how do you? Why? What time is it there?
5 hours plus this. So.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I didn't know that.
12:30, 5:30, something like that.
Nick,
I used to call back to the.
That's actually in the office.
Parts.
Oh, okay. So that's how you knew what time it was.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Wow, and welcome, man. Glad to have you here. Mikey, you about ready?
Sure. Somebody, Sam, are you coming in?
Hold on. Did you see that Dean got us a video crew for the Scottle contest?
I did.
He did. How did he get that?
Got us a video.
He knows a guy.
He knows a guy.
Excited.
Sweet. Semi-professional. It's going to be awesome.
I'm thinking this is going to be fun. We may even have to get shirts made, or at least own the hashtag.
Scottle team.
Team Scott. Oh, yo.
I didn't know we were doing teams.
Mike, quick, buy some domain names.
Oh,
hey, this is snowballing out pretty quickly here.
You guys prep all the food. I'll cook it. How about that?
Okay, let me. Now that Scott said that, let me tell you another quick story.
Oh, jeez.
Well, Scott and I are at a gun show, right? And we're just sitting around that and the other. And Mike said, "This is a Saturday. Mike's not working." And we come. I can't remember what it was. Do you remember what .com it was? We came up with this .com.
Oh.
Guns, knives, and watches.
Guns, knives, and watches.com. And it's like, man, we ought to own that .com or something. So I text Mike, or did I call you? I don't even know if I could.
You texted me.
Did I text you? And I texted Mike and said, hey, buy this. So like on his day off, we still got him poking him to buy .coms, and he would send back like, why? Just buy it. So we bought some .coms over the years just because we thought
we've done a couple times.
So you might want to get the hashtag Scottle challenge or whatever. What do we call it? A Scottle off before it's
gone. Something good.
Anyway, I just want to tell that story. Like even on Mike's off days, he gets text from me, or I still do this to this day, and he can. What does my weekend text start with, Mike? They're always the same.
Hey.
I just want to get so, and here's the sad part, and I'll ask my question and get done, and then I'll remember something else, and I'll hey him again. And what do you say to me?
You've already used your hay for the day.
Every daggone time on the weekend. Anyway, all right, we ready to do this. We're going to go. Who's going to narrate? Because you guys don't like when I do it.
Probably gonna have to
What are we
be
doing? Having a build.
Yeah.
somebody's got to film and somebody's got to narrate. So
So who's doing what?
Nick, you're
I guess
sitting
I'll
right there.
narrate.
Okay, Nick will narrate. Do you want me
Yeah,
to
but I'm
film?
not very mobile. I'm on
Yes.
my laptop,
Oh,
so
I can
I'll
be
narrate.
I can
Okay,
be mobile.
who's doing the computer part? Because Mikey's gone.
Sam's gonna have to.
Sam's on a computer. I'm doing a video.
All
Nick
right.
can narrate. Ready, go.
Okay, so I get to sit here in the woods.
Yep.
Hey, we should do ultimatescottle.com.
Start walking over here, Sam.
What?
Okay, you guys do your thing, and
Get
Nick
your
and I
honey
will.
over here.
Go, go, go.
So anyway, I'm thinking Dean's definitely in.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think this is going to be good. Here's the thing, Nick. Here's what I was thinking. And Dean, you can chime in. What if we get them all set up? Now, naturally, we're going to do Scottle popcorn, and we may have to do.
For sure.
Oh, wait. I'm going to squirrel myself for a minute. I wish I had
Oh,
a.
here comes Sam.
Where's my squirrel pick? Okay, so over the week, last camping trip, Sam turned me on. Well, there goes Sam. Sam turned me on to.
Wait. I thought. Wait. I thought this was a secret. I thought Sam said this was a secret.
Which was the
That he
secret?
wanted what you were about to say that he turned you on to.
Okay. So
Oh, man.
if you want to make
I don't know, Sam. Isn't that a secret?
Sam.
What?
Your popcorn modification?
No, I wasn't going to say that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Never mind then.
Okay.
I can hear you,
Oh.
Scott.
What?
Oh, that was real good, Scott. I can hear you too.
Scott,
Anyway, getting back.
How do I hear what's going on?
Turn me on to
Just tell us what was on the Scottle.
steamed cinnamon.
Oh,
Cinnamon bun.
with the rack.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, man, just to say, seriously yummy. Like really good. Really good.
Mike.
Oh, anyway.
No.
Okay, now that
I'm
I
not gonna.
scroll.
There goes Mike. Hi, Mike. There's Scooter.
I've never sat in this chair before. This is interesting.
Oh, cool. So,
Here I come.
hey, Nick and Dean, this is what I'm thinking.
What?
What if we?
Oh, sorry.
Have,
Ready?
what if we have like 5 ideas, and then we draw an idea so that neither Sam nor Dean can.
Hold on one second.
LT's still telling stories.
I like
So
that.
Sam and Dean cannot pre-prep. They just ready, set, go. Because it's gonna be some fun, right, Sam?
Yes.
I think you have to
Hold on,
tell
sorry,
them,
I'm trying to.
but not which one they're gonna do.
Oh, I mean, we're gonna we'll decide if it's gonna be beef, chicken, or whatever, so that they can have that ahead of time. But then we can say, I don't know, we'll figure it out.
I like that idea. I like that.
You gotta have
I
some.
think
We
then
need
it's
to throw a curve.
spontaneous.
Wait, I broke it.
Just as long as
Challenge.
there's popcorn.
I don't know how to do this.
Okay, Mike does know he's on film, right?
He is now.
No, he's been on
Oh,
there.
I can't tell.
Sure.
Okay.
I know
Sorry.
he doesn't know because his head's up. He usually
Yeah.
has his head down.
I don't know how this computer thing works. So I think I hit the wrong button. It's just Mike now. I don't know how to make it everybody.
Yeah, that's what you wanted.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
no, that's okay. That's what we needed.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, where Mike is.
I think I rushed
Back
it.
up.
I
All
was-
right, Scott.
Mike.
Scott, you can tell him to go anytime you are ready. And,
Ready?
Nick,
Go!
Okay, so these have already been sanded on the inside.
Yeah, I mean flattened.
Put the knife on the scales.
Yep.
And then we're going to drill some holes in it.
Sweet.
When you're lining things up like that, you want to make sure that you have material all the way around your steel so that everything is
Oops,
flush
sorry.
when
Thumbs
it's
up
done and
this.
you're finishing. See how he's
It's a
going up
weird
and
little
down with the
spoon.
drill bit? That's to keep it from burning and keep it cutting efficiently as he goes. Instead of just pressing it through. Now flip it over, run them from the back. That just chases the holes, cleans them out. Now he's doing his lanyard tube, and he'll do the same thing there. So up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down until he's through. And then I'm not sure if he'll chase this one or not. Let's see.
Let's watch the action.
Looks like yes. Facing the hole. All right, so now all the holes for his hardware are in. He's going to go ahead and outline the steel. so that now when he goes to cut it, he knows exactly where the knife needs, where the knife is on there and what excess can come off. He's going to go ahead and put his hardware in there to hold everything stable while he cuts. And over to the bandsaw.
First, now we're going to lay the
Oh, front pattern. So
pattern.
We have these patterns for all of our handles so that we know where the front ends on the actual steel. That way you can cut off a lot more material and still know, where your front needs to be, where the handle finishes. And now we cut. Very, very, very carefully. Now his goal here is to be efficient, so he's going to do this in the fewest number of cuts possible. It goes on the belly of the handle, back off, back into the tail. Hey. That's it. We're cutting. So now the knife is roughly the same shape as the handle. Now he's going to go over and he's going to front it. Meaning, since the way we put our knives together, once that's assembled and glued, you can't ever really modify the front of the knife, the part that is up against the steel towards the blade. So it has to be 100% completed now before it moves on to that building part of the process. So that's what he's doing. He's shaping it and making sure that the scratches are all proper, and then depending on the finish of the knife, he might polish it, he might Scotch Brite it, which would give it a matte finish.
Yeah, if those of you who are wondering right now, he's
So he's
we
matte
don't
finishing.
we don't have his one machine up, or he wouldn't have had to go that far. If someone was like, "Boy, that's a long walk up to that machine," yeah.
So now the front is totally finished. Now we're going to go on to countersinking. This knife is going to have what we call fisheye bolts. So it has to be countersunk for those to fit into the micarta. And when he goes
Trying to
build,
get a good spot here. Sorry.
very important to remember which side is the outside of the knife and which side is the inside of the knife at this point, because sometimes when you get going really quick, it's easy to forget and countersink, on the same side, and then you've ruined your scales.
Yes, and you have two right-handed sides.
No. Then you just make another knife.
What he's doing there is drilling some partial holes in the underside of the scales, and that's for glue, so that it gives a more firm bond against the steel.
Extra bonding.
Sanding takes off any burrs from the cutting, and then acetone to clean off anything that's on there, oil or otherwise. Mike uses his rag, also known as a shirt.
It's a work shirt. Double duty.
Now we're ready to glue as soon as Mike gets his gloves on.
And the surgery.
If you ever try your hand at making knives, I highly recommend the gloves, because whenever you use epoxy or super glue, it is a bear to get off your hands.
And if you're unsure, I'll show you my leather apron.
Or Mike's left ear.
Right. Yeah, putting the earbuds in and out.
So what he's using there is a 2-part epoxy. You have to mix that, so that's what he's doing there. And yes, that little board that he's using, I believe now, is 100% epoxy. So that's residue that from all the knives we've built, that he has spread into this little palette for mixing his glue on now.
You don't think there's any
It's like
Kydex
watching
left?
Bob Ross.
I don't think there's any Kydex left on that one. Nope.
No, I think that's all glue.
I'm pretty sure he had to sand off the Kydex for some reason. And he's going to smear a nice even coat of glue on both insides.
Some hardware.
Mm-hmm. Now there's that fisheye bolt that we were talking about going through there. And the way that works is it's a stainless steel bolt with 2 brass nuts on either end. So it starts out with one wound all the way to the head, and then when he's done gluing and putting everything together, he'll put another one on and screw them down.
And it is important that you put glue on both sides. So
And the knife itself, too.
Yeah.
So I know it's small, but you can kind of see there's your screw heads. And you put a brass nut on the opposite side, just tighten it down. And we'll still clamp it. There you go. There, you grab the nut there. Just to give it that extra support while the glue dries. So by the time it's all said and done, you've got those bolts holding everything snug and tight together, and then these clamps holding everything together as well. He's also going to go ahead and clean the front right now, get any excess glue that was squeezed out off of there.
Now, if you guys notice, he did not line the lanyard hole of this particular knife. This knife does not get a line lanyard. That is why.
It is a open hole. And
Right.
for anyone that's wondering, it's the Trekker he's working on there, by the way.
Yeah, which is one of my favorite knives. I like that one quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a great one. I like it too. And here go the clamps.
All the knives that we build with these screws, you can see that the knives get a mechanical bond and a chemical bond. So it's sealed. It's held on there quite well.
Even on a pinned or peened knife, if you want to call it.
Yeah, it's mechanical too with the
Yeah.
chemical and mechanical. Yep.
Yep. So it's
Yeah, 'cause
always
we-
two things.
Clear,
We never just pop something on and peen it or just screw something on. Now that would be set up for a removable style scale, which we're not doing on this particular stuff.
So he went ahead and oiled the steel.
Ta-da!
That knife
Time.
is now built. He did that pretty quick.
Yeah,
It's like he does that from time to time.
I think he did that once before,
Maybe twice.
maybe twice.
I'm
Okay,
thinking maybe twice.
right
Good
on.
job.
Ask Mikey if he wants to say anything about that because I know he can't hear it.
Mike, you want to say anything?
No, let me know if you have questions, I guess.
There you
Yes,
go.
So if anybody has any questions, Mike is on
To
his
the
way
office.
back to the computer.
Aw, thanks, buddy. Scooter Cowboy wants you to text him.
I'm busy right now, cowboy.
But he still loves you, buddy.
There we go. Ta-da!
And we're all back. Wait, Sam, run, Sam.
Bye, Sam. He left.
We'll give him a chance to get back here. And
He says he doesn't run. He refuses to run. He's just sort of strolling away from me.
that's
He's
his
a brisk
running.
walker.
He was saying something smart, Alec, but I'm not sure what it was. Oh,
Wait,
something
I
about
heard it.
cake.
I heard him. He's
See,
getting
we
back
should have
to
said
his-
there was cheesecake back at his computer. I bet he would have run then.
Okay, so we're all back on the screen. Okay. So
Ta-da!
as you guys can see, building a knife, there's a few things that go into that. So that
Not a highlighter stand. It was a wax pencil.
Grease pencil.
Grease pencil.
Right.
Whatever.
Okay. There's Sammy back. Yeah, as you can see, the assembly part, I guess, or the building of the actual knife, what we go through. Now, Mike, what would differ? That just happens to be micarta,
Mm-hmm.
and basically on that, you just had to scratch up because it's relatively flat.
Right.
What would you do different? Let's say if you were using a piece of antler or bone.
Well, bone and antler both have to be sized down because the material is whatever it is that you get when you cut the material open. So there's a lot more fitting of the scale to make sure it's the end thickness of the knife. So usually we use antler or bone on smaller knives, so this overall thickness would have to be a quarter of an inch or below.
Mhm.
So there's a
And
lot more
that's
sanding involved.
also when you're dealing with the antler, even on the drilling side, because you being micarta, you were able to lay that down on the drill press.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to do a little more free-forming because the antler doesn't have an exact flat surface. It could go all different directions. Matter
Right.
of fact.
Old drill bits are your friend.
Okay, so how do you set up on something, let's say, like a piece of antler, or what would you do drilling-wise?
So you saw that we were using a drilling vise to set the blank on when we drilled the holes in it. So if it rocks to one side or the other, you can take an old drill bit and set it between the antler and the vise to make it level.
Oh, okay. So you just try to keep it as flat and straight as you can, being
Yes.
the odd shape. And that would go, I'm sure, with bone and everything. Now, a lot of times when we use a natural material as bone, as antler, we back them up with a G10 liner. Excuse me. And one of the reasons we do that is that helps slow, and Nick can go into this because he does a lot of the finishing side. It helps slow the transition between the steel and the material so that you don't get a peak like this. You want to run that one a little bit?
Sure. So since you're dealing with a material that is so much softer in the handle and then the steel, which is much, much harder, when you sand that with any kind of abrasive, no matter what grit it really is, they're going to wear at different rates. So your steel is going to go down slower than the rest of your handle. And when we're finishing, we use belts. Let me see if I can get you over on here.
Don't touch my belts.
I'm taking this one, Scott, just so you know, buddy.
Get off my
Keeping
stuff.
it. It's mine now. So if you take a look at this, this is a 120 grit belt that we use for finishing, and it is able to flex like that. And it's very flexible this way. It feels very much like a piece of fabric. In fact, it is backed with a fabric. That gives it that flexibility, which is great for making things round and smooth, but it will also flex around the steel as it's sanding away. So you have to be aware of all that as you're doing that.
Yeah, so that's kind of why we give it that 1/8 025 or something, whatever liner we're using. We use some 030s, but it gives you a little bit of transition between the hard and the soft, basically, is what it's going on to.
Yeah.
True.
Scott, we spent a lot of time this week doing wood. What are some of the
Did we?
preps?
My Lord, did we ever?
What are some of the preps that are necessary, like setting up wood? And again, wood we do use a liner with too, but like on the front side, start with taking the wood block and splitting it and book matching. Talk about that a little bit.
Sure. You can cut the wood in a variety of ways. But yeah, whenever we split it, excuse me, like that, I'll split it on that bandsaw, the same one that Mikey was using for the micarta, and get maybe one or two knives out of how big the block is. And then we'll do like this, mark everything so that we know which way it goes back together. The hard part, though, is making it, I think anyway, flat. Because you can sand it a little bit and go, yeah, that looks flat. And it's not. Or you have generated a fair bit of heat and it's got a little warp to it. So we sand things a few times and then they get hit on a marble block with sandpaper. This is one of the concepts for new employees that I would say, and I think I hit Nick with this years ago. You must understand flat, these very exotic terms, flat, parallel, perpendicular.
And
It's got to be
And
flat.
round.
Round, yes. I mean, it's got to be. So you got to put the two together, hold them up to the light, and see no gap. Very important.
Yeah, one of the things, and again, one of the easiest ways to check is exactly what Scott just said. We put the scales together, and seriously, you'll see us in the shop. We look up at the light and run that back and forth to make sure you don't see light. If you see light, you sand it until you don't see light, kind of is how we do it.
And not only this way, holding it long ways. Turn it this way, because if it's crowned a little, when you look at it this way, you won't see any light. But when you go this way,
Yep,
then you got a little
that's a good
problem.
point. Because
Then
when
you'll
you
have
have
gaps.
when you have an expensive piece of wood, like desert ironwood, if any of you guys have ever bought a set of desert ironwood, you know that just a nice presentation set of ironwood, $50 is a cheap set. So if you put something on there, you end up with a glue line after you're done and you're rolling down your knife and you have a glue line against the spine because you didn't have a flat piece of wood. Boy, that sure is aggravating. You throw $50 out the window and start over. So yeah,
And
flat is very important.
It's another good time
If
to
you-
say, that
Good.
having your steel flat is also equally important, because if that's not the case, then you're going to end up with the same problem. So you really have to be diligent about your handle portion being flat if you're going to make a knife with
Mhm.
scales.
Right.
I mean, it's really, really important.
And that
And if
kind
you,
of,
sorry, if you think you're going to clamp it harder and just force it to flat, that ain't gonna work.
not gonna
And
No
if
good.
you think that you're going to fill it just with glue, like you're going to let it have gaps and then fill that with glue, yeah, that might work for a day or a week, but eventually, no. It will
And it's
work
gonna look
itself.
strange.
Yes.
You'll see
Exactly.
it eventually.
And the main goal is to make as clean a knife as you can naturally. You know, when we're starting out, we have this, that, or the other, but you want to have that clean knife the best as we can. And it all starts on the front end too, like on Sammy's end when he's doing that, getting flat back there. I mean, that's not, everyone can sit there and go, oh man, I can make a knife flat. There ain't nothing to it. Sam, you want to say how many knives we've had to redo because someone thought they could do something flat? I mean,
I don't really want to talk about that experience.
Let's go with a lot.
Right.
Let's just say a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
I remember when you
Too
first taught
many.
me how to tail a knife, I spent a lot of time sharpieing and resharpieing and showing you, and you're going, nope, it's not flat, do it again. Nope,
Right.
it's not flat, do it again. Spent a lot of time learning how to
Or
make
the
stuff
natural movement of here's your platen, taking that flat blade and accidentally just kind of tapering off.
Yeah.
Now you have a tapered tail, but only
Exactly.
on the last half inch.
Which sometimes that's what you want, but you still got to have it flat. So even if you have a knife, and let's say you want to do a tapered tang to the tail, meaning that it's one thickness where your grind starts, and then it tapers to a thinner piece of metal at the end. Well, that still has to be flat. It can't be curved at all.
You cannot have a transition in the middle of the scale.
Straight lines, right?
It'll be all flat, but tapered.
Flat is one of those things that I've learned during my years here, that it's this, unattainable standard, because when you start out, flat becomes, oh, I just want it flat. And then you get to, we're talking thousandths of an inch, variance in flat. So it's just like a golf game where you never quite get there. You're always trying to improve upon yourself. We're always striving for better degrees of flat.
I thought I was pretty good at making things flat, and then I made those folders, and
That's a whole
that's a
level.
whole new
Another
level
level.
of flat, baby.
So,
Yeah.
even though we've been doing this for a long time and we've got thousands and thousands of knives under our belt, we still learn something daily and weekly. I mean, there's no doubt I'm learning new stuff all the time, which is kind of exciting, though. Being able to actually find a new way to do something or a little bit different, and it really changes your whole outlook on your overall knife making. So I am super excited about coming in every day and learning something new. Kind of cool stuff. I like it a lot. Sammy, what do you got to say about the Kydex world this week? I know that you and Mikey did a little tag teaming this week, getting some stuff run out.
Best helper ever.
We did quite a few pieces of Kydex this week. I think the total was 32.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Thank God for Mike. He really stepped up this week, and his stuff's looking pretty good.
So soon he'll be able to show you stuff, right?
Maybe a couple more weeks.
two more weeks with Kydex under his fingernails. That's good.
Yep.
So how did you like? Because this was your second or third time actually messing with the Kydex, right, Mike?
Yeah, in high volume like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of digging on it.
Except for the part where it goes in my shoes. Yeah.
Well, if
gator
you
season.
tie your shoes sometimes,
No,
it probably wouldn't
can't do
happen
that.
way.
He is like when me and Sammy did all those sheaves that we had that big order, like
170.
170 sheaves. No kidding. I don't know how this happened. I had my apron on. My pockets were full of Kydex dust.
It doesn't matter if you can tape them shut.
No.
They're going to be full of Kydex at the end of the day.
The thing
One
is,
time we did try
the
to
Carta
tape
dust,
our pant legs shut. That didn't work.
my Carta dust does not get in my pockets like that. But I mean, literally pull a handful of like this fine Kydex dust.
What?
So itchy and oh man.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
And of course, it was like 86 the day we were doing all
Yeah.
the sanding. So
Yeah, that
Get
stuff
the
sticks to you.
sweaty, gritty.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, but so remember, any of you guys that are interested in the Kydex class, get a hold of us. We have 10 slots, and I think Brian
Well,
says
one of
stop
those-
wearing sandals in those slots.
No way.
That's funny. Let me
would be
like that.
bad.
You know he's talking to you, Mike.
uh huh.
Mike does love his
That's
sandals.
funny. That's funny. That is funny. Quit wearing your sandals, Mike. Anyway, the Kydex class, July 7th. We have 10 slots.
11.
9. One of those is taken.
Did I say 7?
But wait a minute,
7-Eleven.
he might
We're
come
not
in
getting
too, and
Slurpees,
it's
buddy.
cameraman. You never know.
July 11th. Let me look. July 11th. Yeah.
Didn't you say 11 before?
Yeah, it's 11. Okay, so July 11th with 10 people. I got that right.
9 spots open. Sorry.
9.
All right, the
9
one's already
spots
taken.
Oh, okay, so we got. So we
July
have
11, 9
9
spots
main-
left.
and we really can't overbook, guys. So please let us know. This is a one day. It's a Saturday only. We are planning on having a virtual show Friday night and a pizza party here at the shop. So that'll be fun. We'll do our live virtual show Friday night. Come by, have pizza. We might have one soda or two. You know,
Hey,
things
are
like
you
that.
telling me that I'm making pizza on the Scotto? Is that what you're
Yes.
And people,
Or
I
maybe-
heard people might be camping that
maybe.
weekend as well.
Yeah, people might be camping. Hey, you never know. If Dean comes up and the scuttle off happens, maybe we'll have you guys whooping
Ooh,
up.
scuttle off on the live feed.
Oh, I already
Uh-oh.
told you I'll have to make some popcorn when the contest is over.
Right on.
Dig it.
So I like it. So those of you who were on the fence about the Kydex class, since Dean has committed, and yes, Dean, I did say committed, so now you're stuck.
If he committed, then there's only 8 spots left.
They're
That's
going
right.
fast.
So since Dean and Sam are going to have a scuttle off, and we'll figure out the rest of the details in the meantime, you definitely don't want to miss that because you get to learn how to do Kydex, and you're going to eat super good. Let me tell you, if you've not eaten on a scuttle, off the scuttle stuff, just wait. Everything, right? We've said that a million times. Everything is better off the scuttle.
I think instead of t-shirts, though, we're going to need custom aprons.
Spatulas?
Yeah, sure. That too.
You can laser engrave the spatula.
Well, we'll have
There
to
you
fix
go.
this.
Yes, we can.
Maybe we should have scuttle off champ make one spatula in each year.
Oh.
It's like the stand, it's like
The
Stanley
golden
Cup.
spatula.
That's
You get
it.
your name engraved on it, then it
We
goes.
could
to
do
the-
that.
Oh, like the Stanley Cup.
Definitely do that. I have AEBL back there. We can totally do that.
Oh,
Hmm.
this is getting funner and funner. Right on. Hey,
Dig
we
it.
need like some gold scales for it.
I don't know about gold, but we got.
Just brass. It'll be
Something
heavy
gold
as
colored.
You don't like Tiffany G10 with unicorn
No.
decks?
No.
No.
I don't. I really don't. I'm
What is
sorry.
that, unicorn?
There, look.
That-
Aw,
That little piece is spoken for.
This is all that's left.
that's it.
This is it.
Darn it.
The rest
Okay.
is in pieces in Mike's pocket.
UPS is here now.
Ooh, maybe that's
Anyway.
my parts.
Yeah, UPS. We're getting all our deliveries on Friday. Hey, I think we are right at our hour. Guys, we'd like to hang out more with you today, but we actually have to get some work done. it's Friday, and we need to go do something. Remember the Kydex class and the scuttle off. I'll get with Dean, and we'll work out some details, and we're gonna have fun with this. I can just see good things happening, and I know I'm gonna eat good on that weekend. July 11th is a good weekend to eat. So Flatlander, keep that date open because you're going to want to come down and hang out. I think it's
We'll
better.
definitely be
And
open.
Mrs. Flatlander.
So, and Mrs. Ola, yeah, she knows. She's good to go too. And anyone else who is out there, you are welcome to come by on July 10th and 11th. So hit the Kydex class up. But for the meantime, I think we might have to go do some work. Remember, next Friday, we don't do the live feed. It's every other Friday. And right now, I believe we're going to go and do a podcast. So for those of you who have not been turned on to the Shack yet, Mikey, how does it get to listen to the Shack?
They can check it out on our website or any place that they would normally find podcasts.
Right on. There you go. So you guys take care of that. And,
What
hey,
show number is this? What are we up to?
13 will be the one we're recording today.
13.
13.
Yeah.
How about that?
And
Oh,
in
we
some
lost a lot.
countries, they actually know the program.
We're ranked in
number are
Portugal.
we?
What are we?
We're ranked in Portugal.
Wait, we're ranked.
We're in the top 10.
We're ranked in Canada too,
Yes,
aren't we?
we are.
Yeah, but we're like 190 something.
Yeah.
It's still a rank.
We're in the
Ranked
top
is
25 in
I
Portugal.
want to know how many bushcrafters there are in Portugal. I really do.
There's
Apparently
5.
25.
That's
Oh.
right.
Oh, well, there you go.
Hi, Portugal. Oh, they're not watching. Well, they might.
Shout out.
So we're gonna have fun. Mrs. Who? Brian, Mrs. Flatlander. I'm just reading some of the thing. Tell Michelle I said hello. Okay, I think we need to go make some knives, guys. Guys, thanks for tuning in.
Okie
We
dokie.
have enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you in 2 weeks right here on the live feed, the Virtual Knife Academy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
God bless you.
See you guys.